The problem of local versus global optimum. Imagine a complex mechanism, such as a clock. Inside it, there are dozens of gears, each performing its own function. Now imagine that you decided to make one of these gears perfect, super efficient. You made it from a super strong alloy. It rotates at an incredible speed and never wears out. But here's the catch. You didn't consider that its new size and speed have a destructive effect on the adjacent, more fragile parts. As a result, your perfect clock stops. You achieved a local optimum for one part, but lost the global optimum for the entire mechanism. This is the efficiency trap. This metaphor perfectly describes what happens in many companies and systems. A manager or a department sees their main goal as maximizing the efficiency of their area of work. The sales department starts setting records for the number of closed deals. Production reduces costs to a minimum, and the development department releases new features at cosmic speed. It would seem, what's wrong with that? After all, everyone is working at their maximum capacity. The problem is that these local victories very often turn into a global defeat. Let's look at a classic example. A product manager demands that the development team release new features as quickly as possible to outpace competitors. The developers, striving to be efficient, start skipping testing stages, writing less than ideal code, and ignoring technical debt. In the short term, the growth metrics look great. There are many new features. Customers are happy. This is a local optimum for the development team. They quickly do what is asked of them. But after a few months, the system becomes so unstable that every new change leads to new critical errors. The development speed drops to zero, customers leave due to constant bugs, and fixing the accumulated technical debt takes months and huge budgets. The global optimum, a stable, scalable product that develops at a sustainable pace, was sacrificed for local success. The efficiency trap lies in wait not only for the IT sector. Let's take manufacturing. A shop foreman decides to save money and buys cheaper raw materials. His KPI for cost reduction is exceeded. He receives a bonus. This is his local optimum. But as a result, the quality of the final product drops. The amount of defects and returns increases. The brand's reputation suffers, and the company loses market share. Another example. The customer support department introduces an average call time metric and starts penalizing employees for long calls. The operators become super efficient. They hang up calls without solving problems to meet the standard. The time indicator improves, but the customer satisfaction index plummets, and with it, revenue is lost. Why does this happen? Why do intelligent and motivated people keep falling into this trap? The main reason lies in the management and measurement system. We are used to breaking down complex systems into simple, isolated components and assigning personal performance indicators, KPIs, for each of them. An employee or department focuses on what is measured and rewarded. If a sales manager receives a bonus only for the volume of contracts signed, he will sell anything to anyone without caring whether production can fulfill this order or whether the client will be satisfied in the end. His worldview is limited by his KPI. He does not see the whole system. He only sees his own gear, which needs to be spun up to the maximum. Another factor is the temptation of a quick win. Local optima are often obvious and provide a fast, measurable result. Reduced costs made a profit this quarter. Increased employee workload met the plan. The global optimum, however, requires strategic thinking, patience, and is often associated with short-term costs. Investments in quality, employee training, research, and development do not provide immediate returns. Their results manifest over time, and in the pursuit of quarterly reports, they are easy to neglect. So, how to avoid this trap? The first and most important step is to shift the paradigm from local to systemic efficiency. We must stop thinking in terms of my department and start thinking in terms of our company and our final product for the customer. The goal should not be to maximize the performance of each individual element, but to optimize the work of the entire system as a whole. Sometimes, this means that a department should not work at its maximum, but at the pace and mode that is optimal for the overall value stream. The second key step is to revise the system of indicators. KPIs should not encourage behavior that is beneficial to a department but harmful to the company. The sales department's bonus should depend not only on the number of sales, but also on the level of customer satisfaction, the number of returns, and the profitability of the deal. Production KPIs. So, how to avoid this trap? The first and most important step is to shift the paradigm from local to systemic efficiency. We must stop thinking in terms of my department and start thinking in terms of our company and our final product for the customer. The goal should not be to maximize the performance of each individual element, but to optimize the work of the entire system as a whole. Sometimes this means that a department should not work at its maximum, but at the pace and mode that is optimal for the overall value stream. The second key step is to revise the system of indicators. KPIs should not encourage behavior that is beneficial to a department but harmful to the company. The sales department's bonus should depend not only on the number of sales, but also on the level of customer satisfaction, the number of returns, and the profitability of the deal. Production KPIs should include not only the cost per unit, but also quality and flexibility. It is necessary to create end-to-end metrics that link the work of different departments into a single chain. The third point is the culture of communication and mutual understanding. When departments work in a vacuum, they do not see the consequences of their efficient decisions for their colleagues. Regular cross-functional meetings, joint planning, transparency of goals and metrics, all this helps to break down barriers and make teams see the big picture. Developers must understand the pain of the sales department, and marketers must understand the limitations of production capacity. Business history knows many examples where the pursuit of local efficiency led to collapse. And conversely, companies that managed to maintain a systemic view often sacrificed short-term benefits for long-term sustainable success. A classic example is Toyota with its production system. They realized that running production at full capacity for stock is just as inefficient as its downtime. Their goal is not the maximum load of every machine, but a continuous flow that creates value for the customer without overproduction and defects. They consciously allow some resources not to be used at 100% because this is the price for the flexibility and quality of the entire system as a whole. Thus, the efficiency trap is not an abstract concept, but a daily practical problem. To avoid it, you need to constantly ask yourself a simple but very profound question. Do our local victories lead to a common victory? Are we paying for the efficiency of one link at the cost of breaking the entire chain? Only by rising above momentary KPIs and seeing the organization as a single living organism can one make decisions that lead not to an illusory, but to a genuine and sustainable success.